And we are live. Wednesday night with those guys, and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
Those guys.
And we are live.
That's
Wednesday
me.
night with those.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It is Wednesday night with those guys. And as you know, Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys. And we got a lot to talk about tonight, but how is everyone out there doing? Because we are here on Wednesday night with those guys where we talk about everything in the drone world and promote the usage of drones. And I hope everyone has been able to get out and enjoy the good weather. If the weather's been good where you are, and get out and fly your drones, exercise and fly your wings. What's going on with you, Lawrence? How you been?
Not a whole lot, man. I'm actually pretty good. I got to do what we did yesterday. That was an accomplishment.
Okay.
While we were working, and I'm still amped off of that because that was an experience for me. I'm ready to do the next one.
Well,
what's up? What's up with you? I mean, we've been grinding. No time to play.
Well, for those of you that don't know what Lawrence is talking about, Lawrence got to fly a little FPV around a crane.
Can you move your mic a little closer?
Oh, that's why I was asking you earlier if you could hear me.
Yeah, that's better. That's
Lawrence.
better.
Lawrence got a chance to fly a little FPV around a crane.
Oh,
on
yeah.
a construction site where we were working at, and was that the first time you got or you got to do it legally or?
Yeah. You know what? It's funny you say that. Yes, it was the first time I got to do it legally, but it was an adventure. Can I share one picture? Just one picture. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, go ahead,
it's not showing no logos or anything.
I mean, it's not it's
just a crane. Remember the white bag the crane carried?
I know it's not anything that's in their package for them. So
no, it wouldn't be anything in their package. Definitely not. It's an actual screenshot. So I think we should be covered.
Okay.
So give me a second, guys. This is one picture. I took just a screenshot from the footage, but that's all I can reveal right there. This picture right here. It was fun. It's a 14-story building, and the crane goes up as high as about 18 stories, the tip of the crane. And that's it. But it was fun. That's all. It. Yeah, that's all I'm showing. That's all I can afford to show. Fortunately. But anyway, what's up with you, man? Happy hump day.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is hump day. I mean, I thought you had nicer shots than that. So, it is FPV. Well, all right, never mind. Never mind.
It was my first time flying a crane for hire, I should say. I wouldn't go as far as to say legally. I've been flying legally for a while.
They just like
what's up? Mark Fisher, how are you, man? No, let's say what's up to everybody real quick.
Okay.
Mark Fisher, Paul Wegenbig, Matt Bagwell, let's see, Nacho Rising, Waypoint England, Waypoint New England. Rills was here earlier. I did say Nacho, right?
Yeah.
Who else? SJM Drones was here earlier. Jody is listening. Jody, I hope you get better soon. He was in a car accident.
Yes, Jody, please get well soon. I mean, he's got a problem there. He got hit in an accident, and he's got his hip
and back and a concussion.
So guys, keep him in your prayers and hope that he has a speedy recovery.
Exactly. Car hit him at 40 miles per hour while he was at a dead stop. So he's in pain. But what's up, Barkley, Johnny Drone Flyer?
Johnny,
Into the stream.
what's good, Barkley?
We got a lot. We got a lot to
Few people
do.
here.
The second half, I know a lot of you guys want to see Vic Moss. You're gonna see him. Trust me. It's early in the stream. He will be in during the second hour of the stream. You know, Herman and I are gonna stick with our usual format, doing do a little bit of drone news here, a little bit of what's going on in the drone community, etc.
Well,
So
there hasn't been much that anybody is not really too much aware of.
True,
as far
true,
as
true.
in the consumer world. I would say, was it Monday or it was that DJI started that back to school sale with the 20% off?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
September 11th through the 22nd.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yeah, they got some big deals there on a few things.
Yeah,
Starting
well,
with what do they have there? The
Mini 3
the Mini 3
combo.
Fly More combo. Yeah, that one was good. I think that's a good deal there. That's at
I do.
$798.
Correct.
Yeah, that's down from 858. So
But this is the deal that you know what? If I wasn't
Air
waiting for
2S.
Air 3S to come out, I would get another one of these. This Air 2S combo I paid what, $1,300, $1,400 when it first came out for $1,000 Fly More bundle. $1,000 for Fly More. Come on, man. 1-inch sensor.
Yeah, it's still a good drone. Still a good drone. I mean,
you're right about that. It is.
The only knock to this drone, and with all fairness, I mean, seriously, it's still got the time, the flight time on it is not bad, but
30 minutes.
That's the only knock on it, because everything else has just got a little bit more flight time. But that's about it with that drone.
Listen, people are asking me all the time, what's a good first time drone? And I tell them the Air 2S. Either or Mini. Once they say Air 2S and they say, oh, well, that's a little pricey, then I sell them on a Mini. And they're like, oh, I can get something for like $700, $600. So, but first I suggest the Air 2S. But what else is on sale here? Oh
well,
DJI
yeah, a few
combo.
things. You got the what's that? After the Air 2S, you got the FPV combo, right?
Yes.
And then you have the Action 2 dual screen combo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but that's bananas. $309. That's crazy.
I mean, listen, it's not a bad little camera. It's the price is still so close to each other now.
Right.
But if you're looking for a little something small, a little compact,
right? This is it.
That's even easier to put in your pocket than the 3 and the 4. They are up to the 4, right?
Yes, they are. I know DJI.
I want to make sure I'm still up to date on the numbers. You know what I mean? These numbers come out faster than
But this is the overall. If you want to get into learning how to fly a drone, cheapest freaking way to get into it. Fly More combo, the DJI Mini 2 for $489. That's less than $500, and you got something that can return to home faster than your puppy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Listen,
what's the transmission on that?
What's the transmission on this? I think OcuSync. OcuSync.
Is it 2? Is it 2 or is it?
It's got to be 2. I'm pretty sure.
Or is it Wi-Fi?
Oh shit! Stop.
No, I think it's 2.
It is OcuSync 2, man. It is. It is.
All right.
And a limited time offer, you get a $39 bag with it.
All right. So here, listen.
Yeah.
It's a great deal.
Oh well, they're saying $39 for the bag.
What? The universal carrying case.
Yeah. Now this, I wonder if I put my Osmo 2 on eBay if I could sell it. I don't know. My pocket too.
Now you want to sell your pocket too?
I'll put it on eBay. Well, you know what?
Why you
That's
want
not.
to sell?
I should keep it. I am going to
I'm
keep
just
it.
asking.
Because it's great for vlogging with. It's really good for vlogging. So I probably won't get rid of it. I'm just talking off the top of my head.
I was just wondering why.
Check out this link here. This is their back to school link. I'm copying it now for you guys to see. For you guys
I'm
to
just curious to know why you would want to.
Hey Chris. No, I wouldn't, honestly. I honestly wouldn't. There's the link right there to the DJI store. It's a back to school sale. You're looking to get an extra drone or a backup drone. Hey,
Yeah.
Drone Guy 42, welcome. It's something.
A backup drone.
Yeah.
In case of what?
Well, an Air 2S as a backup drone is pretty good. 5.4K video.
When is it going to back them up?
Hey, SJM, welcome back. Yellow Rose, how are you? When is it going to back it up? You're right. Well, you got to have a mishap or something, but you get it. How are you, Chris? What's going on here? What's going on here with the chat?
You going to back up? I think I'm going to need backup.
One Atom 12, One Atom 12. I need backup.
Listen,
So don't know who One Atom 12 is. Google it.
I have an Air 2S, right?
What happened?
I have an Air 2S, right? And
yeah,
for what we're doing with the Mavic 3, right?
Yeah.
I could say that's a good backup drone, but I've considered getting another Mavic 3.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. But on in a crush,
it's like I like him, but I'm not bringing him to the pitcher's mouth.
Has eBay gotten any easier to sell on? To use to hold my money for way too long. I actually have never sold anything on eBay myself. When I mention eBay, I'm really BSing around. I brought a camera from them and almost had an aneurysm waiting for it to come. So
wow. I've sold stuff.
I don't particularly deal with eBay, but from what I understand, if you pay for your stuff with PayPal or something like that, it is insured.
I've bought stuff.
Did you see what you didn't see what Barkley put?
What?
According to the boxes behind you, Herman, you have every drone DJI has ever made. Barkley's got jokes. Here we go. He doesn't even have a comeback for that one, Barkley.
Anyway, where are we right now? According to what I'm seeing around town.
Yeah.
Talking about a backup drone, right? Well, we're talking about all these drones that's on sale and stuff like that. But it seems like they seem to be all on sale because everybody's, I guess, is waiting for the this Mini 4 Pro that's supposed to be coming out. And from what I'm seeing boxes and shit and pictures that seem like it's ready to go, ready to ship.
Yeah. Actually, these are those boxes you're actually talking about. If I can click on the right damn thing and get it together here. Here we go. There we go. Don't you love distortion effects?
Boxes.
I tried my best. Yeah, they got cases of them ready to go.
Yeah, see?
Mini 4.
This is what they're saying, huh?
Fly more combo.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's what the leaks and the rumors are saying now. But yeah.
I just want to say one thing real quick. DJI are the masters of deception. They can make you think a mouse is running down the road with an Osmo Pocket attached to his tail. And I since they fooled us with the Osmo Pocket when we were looking at the Mavic 2 Pro, remember they had it on screen and nobody saw it because they were dribbling over the drone in the photo? Well, every time DJI puts something out, I try to analyze it and I'm always freaking wrong. Now check this out. I thought this might have been a phony label. And the reason saying they blurred it because maybe they didn't want you to read the scan code, right? The barcode. But from
Uh-huh.
what I can see here, zoomed in,
Right,
this
right.
barcode right here, and now I noticed distorted purposely, so it could look like a bunch of ones and zeros, but 01000001
Right.
00000001
And that don't mean nothing.
0J. You understand what I'm saying? Now the
Yeah.
serial numbers I could see is distorted even more, but I was just wondering if this was a prop
Don't mean nothing.
photo. You understand what I'm saying?
Don't worry about that.
I know, but
never-
anyway,
I
there
never
you go.
feed too deep into any of these things. It's just
Right.
that this is what they have put out, because this is what the rumor mill is. I guess DJI does it, and they know that we're going to speak about it, and certain guys are
Corey,
sitting
what's
there
good,
waiting
man?
with their finger on the button, or waiting for the day of the notification of the release date to
Yeah.
jump all over it. The Mini has become a very popular series amongst the drone community, both here and abroad.
I see. Look what
of the
Joe.
fact that, huh?
Go ahead. I was waiting for you to finish to say, look what Jody had put. His buddy got a Mini 2 for 200. Got an
Okay.
Ender 3 in the box for 150.
Uh-huh.
And all of this is on eBay.
Right. Okay. See? No, but I've purchased brand new stuff on eBay. And I've sold stuff on eBay.
I've brought GoPros on eBay because when you fly FPV, you don't want to spend full price for GoPros and you're going to smash them up. Now, if I'm going to spend money for a GoPro, I would rather get it. I'd rather go into the store and get it, to be honest, or have them just mail it straight to the house. But when I was getting into FPV, I would buy the older GoPros, which were a lot cheaper. You smash it, it's not so bad. I have a GoPro at the bottom of Jamaica Bay. I have another GoPro, and it wasn't so bad when the drone went down. You understand what I'm saying, though?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean, it hurt more that I lost the drone than the GoPro.
I buy and sell sneakers.
Yeah.
So I've sold sneakers on eBay, and what happens is they go to them for authenticity to make sure that it's the real deal before the customer gets it.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. But we know you guys are waiting for Vic Moss to come in. He will be here because of his busy schedule. We had to schedule him for the second hour of the live stream, but he will definitely be here.
Well,
we did our sound check and everything yesterday. Now,
we do have a
back
few
to this Mini 4, those prices.
Really? The Mini 4 prices? You like those prices?
Well,
I
don't have a whole lot to say. I don't have a whole lot to say about the Mini 4 prices. Let me just say that I don't have a need for a Mini 4. I don't have anything against a Mini 4. There are millions and millions of mini owners out there.
What's this?
I personally don't have a need for it, but this is the pricing for them. On page here, assuming the U.S. price is about $800 to $1,000, depending on which package you get. That sounds roughly about right.
They actually did have the conversion on one
This
of those.
This is the conversion. This is supposedly the conversion here. If I go back, hold on.
Here we go.
Here we go. Up here, 799 euros, and then with the RC2, 999 euros. Yeah. Which one? M4 Pro 8?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. And the Air 3 1000, tough choice. Now, here's my logic.
Get the Air.
I just believe I've been flying long enough that I have the option to choose between cell phone sensors for my work or a 1-inch sensor and a 4/3 sensor. I've gotten a little bougie, and you were part of that, because once I got to fly a Phantom 4 Pro, that was it.
Well, I think the the Air 3 is a very capable drone. I just don't like going much smaller than that. You know,
Right.
control.
It's a drone for pulling out of your pocket somewhere and
the
saying, "Let me get a few
control of the
shots."
drone. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're nice drones. They're nice drones. They take very good pictures and video.
Oh, Jody says he hope it has the camera views. Jody, I don't think it will. I think right now, and Jody is saying he hope it has the camera views like the Mavic 3 got. I said, well, right now, I think it may trickle down. That technology will trickle down.
Interesting.
It would be interesting, but I also would like for it to have night mode. I'm pretty sure they're gonna add night.
The sense of direction might be a little tricky, a little off.
Yeah. Well, we will see, because those 4 sensors are angled in the same position that the Mavic 3 sensors are angled in.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know.
Have you ever noticed, like with the car?
Yeah.
And they use the different pictures on the car and they put them together to create that view from overhead.
That overhead view, yeah. I've always wondered how they did that when they used the sensors from the car.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Casey, how are you?
It's very similar technology.
Awesome.
Very similar technology.
Yes.
Now, you know, for those of you who know, you know, whenever I get a drone, I like to get the hard cases. And the first hard case that I ever purchased was a Nanook hard case. Hey, Angie, what's going on? The first hard case I ever purchased was a Nanook hard case. So I just always continued to purchase the same ecosystem of hard cases for every drone after that. And
yes.
So Lawrence teases and jokes that I have a stack of hard cases that's taller than me.
He does. You do.
But anyhow, so in a conversation with Nanook at one point, Nanook had Nanook had gave me a case that fits the Mavic 3.
The Mavic 3, the very first.
A bunch of batteries in it. So
hold on, Herman. Get it. Tell it correctly. Nanook, because he's brought so many cases from these people, he asks, when are you guys coming out with a Mavic 3 case? And the guy goes, well, we planned on doing it.
Oh, they had a Mavic 3 case. It just it only held 2 extra batteries, which was always in the Fly More combo. But if you bought another battery, the case didn't hold any more batteries. So
they sent him that first cutout.
Right, with the Mavic 3 that had a cutout with a bunch of slots for batteries, like how they did for the Air Series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Air Series gets everything.
I know. But to make a long story short, Nanook has sent Herman a coupon.
So let me finish the story, Lawrence.
Go ahead.
Can I?
Go ahead.
So, anyhow, since Lawrence wanted to finish the story, Nanook had given me a coupon code to share with you guys that offers 10% off. So that's Phantom Flight 10 will give you 10% off on any of their products off their website. So if you go to Nanook, which is plastic cases in Canada.
Yes. They have cases for everything. This is not a paid endorsement, but they have cases for everything that you fly, and they even create custom cases for FPV pilots as well. But any purchase,
they make cases for all kinds of things, not only just drones. If you have guns, watches, they make cases for almost anything.
So write it down. Who knows? You may want to get a case for somebody for Christmas or get
Christmas
one for
is coming, yeah.
Right. Right now, if you use Phantom Flight 10, where you redeem your
get a
code,
10% discount on your purchase.
Yeah, there you go. We'll bring it back up later on for those who come in later to the stream. And thanks, Nanook, for the hookup. plain and simple.
So if you guys like your hard cases,
Yeah. Hey, Angie, how are you? Hope all is well.
you didn't see Andrew in
Have
there?
you?
Hey Bob,
You
what's going
use
on?
hard cases. What happened?
I know Bob Casey. I saw him in there. I just wanted to shout him out. See Johnny in there too. No, but what's going on, Lawrence?
Not a whole lot. Like I said, I'm still amped from yesterday flying my first crane
Mhm.
that high, and
Did you
everything is going comfortably. I'm comfortable. I'm not going to complain. There are no complaints.
did you get
I'm
the call
comfortable.
from
Huh?
upstairs? Did you get that call from upstairs?
Yes, of course. Yes, I
Oh,
did. I did get the call from upstairs. Give me a second here, and I will relieve that. Get that going right here.
Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys.
Really?
With that, we could do a drop and a shot. No?
If you feel like it.
Well, I mean, hey, Eric, how are you?
Mhm.
Salute to you guys out there.
So yeah.
I got some strobe lights on my top on the back. Well, hold on. Eric put something in the chat. Welcome, Eric. I've never seen you here before, but thanks for asking this. I don't know if this is a question or what. Let me read it. Hey, I got some strobe lights, one on the top and one in a battery case of my DJI Mini. Hold on. Hey, drone, I'm trying to click off of it. Okay, let me. Hey, I got some strobe lights, one on the top, one on the back, where the battery case is on my DJI Mini S drone. Plus, I'm interested for FAA now, but do not have a module. Can I still fly after September 15th?
Well, we're gonna get to those type of questions actually, and honestly,
Oh,
I don't see why you wouldn't already.
right, correct. One on the top and one in the back.
I mean,
To
you don't really need
honest,
that many.
You don't need,
That
right.
doesn't
To be honest,
doesn't
the
matter.
one on the back, unless it's for your personal orientation to know where the drone is, you technically just need one on the top so aircraft above you and from a distance can see that
See,
flash. As long as it's 3 to 5 nautical miles rated, you should be okay with one. But like I said, I know some people, Herman, that put a light on the back of their drone for orientation. So that's understood. Wasn't that on Mark and Mindy? Nanook? Yellow Rose. You're dating yourself, dude.
whoa.
No, I'm not selling my pocket too.
No, if you look when the drone, right, when you're not recording, I don't know if you don't have it set up that way. The drone lights on the drone will tell you the front and the back.
That's true. That's true. It's usually the red lights in the front and green in the back. For those, thanks, Mark. We appreciate you and everyone else. Do us a favor, click that like button if you haven't already. We would appreciate that.
No problem. I hit it.
You'll hit it. You don't hit like for your own stream? Wow.
I don't.
Well, does it go backwards?
What, the drone? Yeah, the drone goes backwards.
All I can say is, in answer to that, you could keep the lights on there. Will you be able to after the 15th because it's an older drone? Right now, and this is coming from me personally. Let me play the disclaimer, Herman.
Which Mini is it?
The views and opinions of everybody on the panel.
The two.
Or in the chat.
Now, by getting my disclaimer out there, that means Herman has nothing to say with this about this. Vic Moss has nothing to say over this. This is my personal opinion. I wouldn't worry about remote ID for a little while, and that's it. That's just me personally. Even when it does come into effect,
he don't know what he's talking about. He's crazy.
until
Don't mind the guy over there in front
behind the
of the city
curtain, the
skyline.
guy behind the curtain.
Don't
Ignore the
don't,
guy
don't
behind the
mind. Yeah, ignore the guy. No, I mean, no, seriously, I wouldn't worry about it too much. The amount of strobes that you have on it, it's not a
is
it's
more
not
than
a deal.
sufficient.
Yeah, it's
You
more
can't see that thing coming.
because
Yeah.
it's a mini, so you might want to take one off and reduce some of the weight off those motors.
Bob Casey got a question for you, Herman.
For me,
Yeah. Does 4K look the same on any device / camera? No.
that's an interesting question. No, because a lot of times these devices have different settings that kind of enhance pictures and change low lights in different areas and does its own work to the video that you're seeing. Like a lot of the more upscale televisions do a lot of sampling and manipulating of colors in different settings. Why you ask?
Eric, I don't know, but Eric says, okay, thank you. I fly only in the country. LOL, farm area, haha. To be honest, as long as you have those strobes on at night, you're okay. As far as flying during the day, of course, you have to observe certain rules and laws, just like you have to observe certain rules and laws at night.
He flies
in
the country.
What happened?
He flies only in the country?
Yeah, and it's mostly farm area. But it's good that you're actually observing a major part of the law by putting strobes on your bird. Just I just hope that they are FAA standard and you can see them from 3 to 5 miles away and you're good.
Okay.
If you Chaser, welcome to the stream. Hope all is well.
Okay.
What's up, Herman?
No, nothing. I was just looking at, Alphabet Wing. Alphabet's Wing, it's the subsidiary of Wing is the subsidiary of Alphabet. Guess what? They're looking to expand their package delivery service. That's what they call it in Dallas, Fort Worth. That's what they're looking at. They want to establish networks of up to 25 drone nests that they call it.
Yeah.
And with each of these units, they would like to conduct as many as 400 deliveries per day from each of those 25 nests within a 6 mile radius of the nest.
That's this image right here, which I think is interesting because most of these overlap.
Right. Well, that's not an issue.
No.
With remote ID, that'll come in fine for them.
And for those of you that can't read the key code here, it's everything that's in yellow is Class B and Class D airspace.
Right.
But is the area that they would like to expand to, covering how many people, Herman?
Well, they want to cover, what is it, 60? Well, right now I believe they're covering 60,000 homes. So yeah, that's a lot. But they with this here, they want, like I said, they want to expand into more areas of Fort Worth. And they've been operating out there since last year. And they're operating in a few other places, but like I said, they with Walmart, they've reached over around 60. They want to serve around 60,000 homes. And Wing
That's
is
not bad.
Wing is asking the FAA to review their expansion plan and to approve it. Which some might say is a good thing. Some might say, oh no, it's not going to be able to do much. This is the beginning in this. it's still in its infancy stage. So who knows
Right.
what it's going to do? You know.
Well, think about it. For some time now, our friends in the southern parts of the United States, southeastern parts of the United States, have been mentioning that Walmart and places like them are making drone deliveries. Didn't we did a
Out
story
west too.
reached their first 1,000th? What was that?
Mhm. Out west,
First
yeah.
1,000th delivery?
Yes, someone in was it Dallas, in the Dallas Fort Worth area, I believe it was they were.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and this has only been going on there for a little over a year now. You know, this has been going on in a few places in a few places in Texas, and well, not only here in the United States, they're in other places. Aren't they in Finland too?
Yes, yes, they are.
So they're
Eric,
doing-
I
they're
cannot
doing-
answer. I cannot answer that because I honestly do not know, and I don't want to
What?
lead you astray. But if someone in the chat knows the answer to this, he says I only fly at night, very rarely, but I do most in the day, so I never fly anywhere else. But
Mhm.
can I fly at a state rest area, 400 feet or no? As far as the altitude and whether you could fly there, if you download the app Aloft, ALOFT, it'll tell you if you have clearance to fly in that area. But I
know,
cannot
know
tell
if
you
there's any
about state rest
restrictions.
areas. I do know state parks you're not supposed to fly in. Many people do, but I do know
That's
that.
a
But
very-
state rest areas,
that is
I
a very
have no
good
idea.
question.
Yeah.
That is a very good question.
So if anyone, Barkley, if you know the answer to that, or Jody, because I don't know. It's as far as state rest areas, I've never pulled on my drone to fly at one or tried.
Mhm.
But that is a good question. Definitely.
Yeah, that is a good question. Lawrence, the what do you call it? The FAA is inviting feedback from members of the public who may be affected by this operation expansion to voice their opinions on it. They have what was it? There's a website, I believe, that they at 9 what was this dash FAA dash drone dash do I have it here? I had it somewhere. Environmental at FAA.gov. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 9 dash FAA dash drone dash environmental at FAA.gov.
Okay.
You can you can voice your opinion on this matter. I guess if you're in that area and it would affect you, they want your feedback on it. I mean that pretty much says that it's a done deal. You know, I don't know how that works, but
Hey, Gary.
usually when they ask you to voice your opinion, they already said they already believe it. They already saying that this is what they want to do, and we just want to hear what you have to say about how it's going to affect you.
Right. Thank you guys for answering. A few guys are saying they've flown, like Matt Bagwell says he's flew in one a week ago, didn't have any
That
issues.
doesn't even sound.
Eric also said the Aloft visualized JSK. He also said the Aloft had told him that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
A few other
all
people
right.
and they've taken flights from state rest stops. Like I said, as far as I know, you're not supposed to fly in state parks, but there are ways around flying from across the street or whatever. You can fly over, but they don't want you taking off in state parks and national parks. I pulled over at rest stops, fly as long as the airspace is good and it's not a national park. That I know about. That I do know. Thank you for that, Angie. Which is helpful too. I know national park, yeah, you may be asking for it.
Uh-huh.
But that's interesting. What else we got, Herman?
No, there's a few things. What else is here?
I'm
Well,
waiting for the computer to unfreeze. I just
your computer's
there we
freezing.
go.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Your computer froze.
A screen.
Oh. Well,
I'm
we do have. Uh-oh.
No, I'm just setting stuff up.
His computer is freaking out.
Yeah, it was. I'm good now. I put another quarter in the slot.
Okay.
I feel like an Apple user.
No, well, Microsoft, right, is collaborating with Simnactive. Yeah, you might not have heard of them before, or maybe you have. But so Microsoft made this big announcement of the collaboration with them, and they're a Canadian-based. They announced their collaboration with Canadian-based Synactive Inc. They are the creators of the. They've the correlator. The correlator 3D mapping platform is what they've created. It's not new. It's been around for a couple of decades. Was designed for the military. Well, what they plan to do is they would like to they did a demonstration, right, and showed how they would like to use the Synactive program or the software on the Microsoft Cloud platform.
Right.
Is what they would like to do. So they're basically saying that this will allow them to deliver a cloud-based solution in a real time and for processing and analyzing, analysts and for real-time decision making for basically global intelligence.
Well, according to them,
global intelligence.
By being able to use the cloud for mapping in real time, anyone on that system with access can access that cloud information from anywhere in the world, etc. And processing, they claim, on the cloud is much faster than having it sent out. There are companies that offer only cloud processing.
That's actually becoming a big thing.
Yeah, because of the simple fact with cloud processing, usually you go map an area, you go home, you upload it to a site, you wait an hour or less or two for them to process it and send you back the data, and then you can access it. Now with cloud, according to Microsoft and other cloud-based companies,
that's kind of the same thing.
You upload it, but it's done in real time, which is a lot faster than waiting an hour.
Well, beautiful. I would like to see how that works. Other than the video that I did see, I would like to see. It's always interesting to see these things at work, because what we do and what I've seen is like, it's not the same. It's similar, but not the same.
Right. And listen, however they do it, I know cloud-based operating systems are very expensive.
Well, this is, like I said, this was originally designed for the military.
Right. Which they have a budget, unlimited budget.
This the correlator.
Hey, Warren. Yes.
Yeah, the correlator 3D mapping platform was originally designed for military. Now, with combining it with the Microsoft cloud-based platform, they can do this in real time.
Yeah, there's the link if you want to check out their short video. I mean, it's so short that I'm actually putting the first like.
How short is it?
It's only 28 seconds long.
Oh, okay.
In fact, wait a minute. Oh, they have music playing with it. That's about it.
Oh, okay. They say it's not that short, huh?
Yeah, for real. If they can put music with it.
When you put music on it, on anything, it'll seem longer.
I know. It's a psychological thing. It definitely is. Now, with this next story coming up, micro drones.
Oh, well, that one here is great because micro drones, right? Well, they have a new easy one solution, right? Well, micro drones is revealing its new NDAA compliant LiDAR drone surveying system. Now that's a mouthful, right? They're also, wow.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, play the video, but
No, go ahead. I muted it. I was gonna play it while you were talking.
no, go ahead, play the video.
Okay.
Play the video.
All right. Well.
As part of its commitment to continuous improvement, Microdrones has taken your feedback and transformed it into a new, improved drone platform that will better serve your needs and make your job easier. This is Easy One. You told us you needed a drone platform that is easier to transport. Easy One features a significantly smaller operational form factor with the same payload capacity of the MD4 1000 platform. In addition to a smaller operational form factor, the Easy One packs down even smaller, fitting in a protective storage case that's small and light enough to bring anywhere. Gone are the days of needing a large vehicle to transport your drone surveying equipment. You ask for an improved RC controller and cockpit interface. Easy One will feature an entirely new controller design that provides an enhanced user interface and safety features. Combined device and integrated remote control, the RC and tablet are one integrated control unit. Increased bandwidth will allow for more live feed data, such as live FPV. You ask for a drone platform that continues to be responsibly sourced. Easy One is designed and assembled in Germany. All onboard electronics, except for the motor controllers, motors and batteries, are made in Germany. Microdrones technology, firmware, software, and workflow, developed and refined since 2006, is used.
Okay. You get the gist of it. I will share the video in the chat. You can watch it in more detail. Hey, John Olson, how are you?
They had a demonstration with this at the commercial UAV Expo in Vegas last week, where they made a big announcement about the Easy One LiDAR solution with the demonstration at night with the CSI type demonstration that they put together that was hosted by Sundance Media Group.
Okay. All right. What else? What do we have?
So basically that's what was going on as far as that drone is concerned. I think it's a nice little package that they put together with this drone. We're moving into where some of the technology that was used in the past has been more and more development of some of these things, and the ability to need drones that can operate in GPS denied areas is becoming bigger and bigger.
Right.
You know.
Well, yeah, that's where LiDAR is stepping leaps and bounds over other obstacle avoidance. LiDAR sees everything. It's just a matter of LiDAR trickling down and becoming more and more affordable.
Well, I don't know. I mean, some of these drones are good price, but then we're talking about drones for industry that have a budget that can sustain something like that.
This is true. This is true. If you have to worry about the price of a LiDAR camera, you can't afford one.
Oh, I mean, you're gonna always question the prices because you want to spend your money, accordingly, and being able to get your best bang for your buck, no matter whether or not you're because when you're looking to purchase these for a department or something like that, you're gonna be looking to get into what's where you can spend, where your money will go the furthest, and what suits your use case. So I figure that you would look at a couple of different platforms before choosing one.
Right. I agree. That would be the smart way to do it. Just like you shop for a drone for your purpose.
Okay.
You shop for one according to what you can go, what market you can buy one from,
Mhm.
what price, what drone you can afford. That's what it's all about. Hold on. What is this
What
here?
happened?
Oh, it's time. We want to give you guys a promo code, 10% off promo code for anything off of Nanook case website. I wanted to put it up again, so give me a second. If you use this right here on the Nanook website, official website, Phantom Flight 10, you will get 10% off your purchase of anything from the Nanook store. Not only do they make drone cases, this is not a paid endorsement. Not only do they make drone cases, but they make cases for everything. Gun cases, you name it. They even do custom FPV frame outs, cutouts for you. So use Phantom Flight 10 at the coupon redeem part of your purchase at Nanook Cases, and you will get 10% off your entire purchase. And that does include everything on their website, correct, Terman?
10%.
Yes. So just figured we'd throw that in there. So for you guys who didn't see it earlier, you may not want a case. You may be thinking about getting a case from Nanook. All right. All colors, designs, etc., etc.
etc. And they don't like Lawrence. I don't know if you mentioned it to them, but they don't only make drone cases. They make cases for different things. Like if you got a rifle, you got the guns you want to store, you want to travel with them in cases, hard cases. It's all waterproof, dustproof. Believe me, they're dustproof. They collect a lot of dust.
Oh, and they do actually float. They are watertight and airtight. Hold on. In fact, here, let's do this. You can go right here to the Nanook site, which I just happen to have up. I wonder how. There, here, see? They're trying to give me 10% off right there, right on the spot. So wait a minute. I wonder if you could apply both of those. Get free shipping in September. See it? Listen, check this out. Free shipping in September. That's not bad, Herman.
Wow.
That's not bad. Drone cases, camera cases, stabilizer cases, microphone. They make cases for everything. Hunting.
Yeah, see
hunting cases. Let's go through. All right, see? Now we're talking. So you just don't need for to put a drone in a box. They make some really good gun cases.
It's all about the cutout.
From what I've heard.
It's all about the cutout.
Yes, it is. Stabilizers, drone cutouts. We can go to the drone page right here.
I wonder how big that boat.
Like Herman said, he had the first cutout of the multi Mavic 3. They sent him the very first one. He's like, look, the one you guys made is okay, but we need more batteries in our shit in the industry.
Well, what it
And-
is that it was a special case made just for me.
Yes, yes, yes. They did specify here. DJI FPV. Check it out. Check it out right here. Mini cases with the RC Pro. There's no configuration that they cannot do. So if you figure, hit them up, 10% off of whatever these prices are at the end, you make out pretty good. Let's check out one more. These outdoor cases, Herman, I was wondering what these were, but
What,
now I
outdoor
see
cases?
knives, watches. Now
Okay.
this I would like myself right here,
What?
the watch case.
Watch case?
I don't like the color tan, but I could use a watch case.
How many
I-
watches do you have?
I could fill the top row here.
Well,
I could fill the top row with 5, which means then I'd have to buy 5 more. That's the excuse. It's like a drone. I have the Mini 2, so I definitely need the Air 2S. I have the Air 2S, so I definitely need the Mavic 3. But check it out. Go to Nanook Cases and use Phantom Flight 10. You get 10% off
well, I'm
your purchase.
right now. Vic should be coming very shortly. Should be in talk with us.
Yeah, Vic Moss,
he didn't
right?
he didn't notify me at all to tell me that he wasn't going to be here. He
Right.
he did notify me to tell me that he would be here.
Right. So, and he's very busy, and we appreciate him coming.
Oh yes.
I mean, busier than busy. You should get a custom wood case.
What happened?
John Olson
What
says I
said?
should get the custom wood case, the one that looks like wood.
Wood. I don't know if they have
And then they have one that actually, I think, that looks like a tree bark.
yeah.
You lay it down in a brush.
Camouflage.
Yeah. So when you lay it down in a
Yeah.
brush, hey, Jim's droning. How are you, man?
And
What's
as
up,
soon as
everybody? Happy hump day to you.
you click the latch, the animals can hear it and they take off.
And they take off because that's not a sound from that area of the woods. Definitely not a tree branch. Yeah, you're right about that.
No, but to carry them in the trunk, of your truck or your car, to store them in your case in your house in your gun safe, your closet or whatever.
Mhm.
Transporting you going to the range and stuff like that is a nice idea.
It is, because I used my hard case that you actually brought me for last year Christmas for my Air 2S. I still use it. I still have it. It's a great case.
Now, don't get any ideas of calling them up and trying to get custom cases made out to fit your thermos and a couple of sandwiches over the lunchbox.
Yeah, right. Talk about Herman said I can get you guys cut anything out.
They actually do customs. But,
I know, but not for your thermos and sandwiches. Definitely not. Hope all is well with you guys out there. Thanks for coming by and watching Wednesday nights with those guys.
That would be funny.
What? Yeah, it would, right? If you pull up to a meetup, he has 2 cases. One case he has a drone, the other case he has lunch.
Or you grab the wrong drone and end up at the meetup with your lunch.
Oh, see now that would be funny.
No drone. Well, that would be similar to what my bonehead did the other day.
Oh,
Forgot the other controller.
but see, that's why we have backups, right? Reason.
But
That's exactly why we have backups.
We have Vic Moss is coming in to sit down and chat with us a little bit on remote ID.
Yeah.
Good evening.
I'm here. Hello.
How are you doing, Vic?
I'm going
Thanks
about
for
14
coming
different
on.
ways at once today, but that's okay. Glad to be here today. Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you here. I mean, I really appreciate you coming on and talking with us. And giving us more enlightenment on what's going on out there. But as I know that you are a photographer and videographer and an expert on UAS regulatory matters. Tell everyone or some of the people who may be here for the first time that don't know who you are.
Who I am.
A little bit
Okay.
about yourself.
Gosh, how much time we got? No. As you mentioned, I'm a photographer, videographer by trade. I've had my own company since 1988. So this is literally my 35th year in business. So been really, really blessed to be able to do something like that for a living. I always tell people, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. I think I've worked like 3 days in the last 35 years. So on top of that, I'm a drone pilot as well, and ended up kind of as a policy wonk by choice. I work a lot with the regulatory agent or FAA. I work with city councils. I work with state. I work with I've sat down in congressional offices in DC and talked to some of them and their staffers just about drone regulation and stuff like that. But I mentioned, as I mentioned last night, I'll point out tonight, I have an art degree. So you're getting regulatory advice for somebody with an art degree. I have no legal training whatsoever. Don't want any. But so I've also, let's see what else. I'm on the AAAC, so the Advanced Aviation Advisory Committee. And that we meet twice a year in Washington again, around a big old table. I think there's around 35, 40 of us. Some of us do use Zoom still, so that's kind of nice when we can't make it out there. I'm a AUVSI Rocky Mountain treasurer, so I'm on the council here at the Rocky Mountain District AUVSI. I think there's some other things, but I think that's the best. Oh, I'm an FAA Safety Team Drone Pro. That's one of the ones I'm really proud of as well.
Okay. So
I do a lot of stuff. I wear a lot of hats.
Do a lot of things. See, that's what
I only get paid for one of them though, so I got to
Very
figure out how to
good.
get paid for the rest of them.
So, I mean, we spoke yesterday and we spoke briefly about remote ID, and I think it's been a hot topic for about a year now or so.
That sounds
And,
about right.
And a lot of people have been worried about it, and a lot of people have been talking, and things have been going around about there being a delay in the remote ID. But I was just wondering if you knew or could help us out with like where our remote ID, how it just came about, but where it is right now.
Oh, well, so you guys haven't been on the internet today?
Well,
the delay was announced this morning,
yeah.
11:30 Eastern time.
We were
I
waiting for you to officially
You're waiting
say
for me
it.
to officially say it. That was nice of you. So, but no, it was, it's called deferred enforcement. And basically what happens now is, well, I'll just read what was sent to me. Non-compliance, the FAA recognizes that lots of stuff was going wrong. And that's not what they say. But basically, if the best way to summarize it is, they're really not going to go after anybody for not being remote ID compliant. There are a number of reasons. One, look at all the DJI drones that are supposed to be compliant via firmware. Some by the end of this month. So what, in 8 days? Something like that. 18 days. Sorry, my math sucks today. Some by the end of the year. And also the whole remote ID module issue that people just can't get them. Can't get them. I have one, luckily. Don't need it. Didn't need it when I bought it, apparently, because I bought it for my P4Ps, my V2s, and they just don't exist. You've got issues with the apps themselves. Just because, and they mentioned this not only in Baltimore but also again last week in Vegas. They being the FAA. That just because you have an app that's not picking up your remote ID signal does not mean you're not compliant. It's not the reception of the signal that makes you compliant. It's the broadcast of the signal. So there's problems with that. There's problems with the FRIAs. Supposedly if you have a recreational drone over 250 grams, you're supposed to fly to FRIA without remote ID. And there's not enough of those. So I'm sorry, go ahead. You're going to get me stopped. You have to stop me from talking.
Really quick, Vic, because I want to try and stay on top of questions and try and hold on.
Oh yeah, I'm not watching your page. You're going to have to feed them to me.
Someone says, but you're still supposed to be compliant by rule.
By rule. Now, okay, let me explain this.
Good question, Maddie.
There's two ways. Oh, is that Maddie?
Yeah.
So there's two ways this could have gone. And one way was ready to go. Ooh, can I say this? I'm going to say it anyway. What can they do? Get me in trouble. And the White House kicked it back. Now, one way is the deferred enforcement, which is what ended up being, just like what they did last year with the manufacturers. The other is what's called emergency rulemaking. So the emergency rulemaking process could then go ahead and say, okay, we have the September 16th deadline. We're going to push it to, let's just pick March 16th, 2024, because that's what the date they settled on.
Mhm.
With the emergency rulemaking, is a whole lot of work on the front end, but not a lot of work on the back end. With the deferment, there's a whole lot of work on the back end. So yes, it's still compliant. The compliant date is Saturday, but
Okay.
nobody cares. The FAA doesn't care. Police officers will be informed, I hope. If not, print our article out and carry it with you. Or just the FAA announcement. So we had that all ready to go, and we were waiting for the go signal from the FAA to go ahead and push it out. I'm actually in the middle of a shoot, so I'm waiting. I'm watching my phone. I'm running back to the computer, watching my phone, run back to the computer. Say, go, hit the button and publish it. So it was a lot of fun this morning.
So basically, it's a mess right now.
It's a what?
It's a mess right now.
Oh, a mess. Like I said, a miss. It's swing and a miss. It was definitely a swing and a miss. I don't think it's a mess. I wouldn't use that word. I would use it was a mess before 11:30 this morning. I will use that word before 11:30 this morning. But now there is an answer. There is a compliance system, which is basically you don't have to comply at this point in time. And there's an end to the means, or means to the end. Sorry. Now, what if we still don't have remote ID modules by March 16th? Well, we start all over again. But I really don't see that as being an issue. We got 6 months now, right?
Right.
6 months. Again, math, so I've been up since, well, anyway. So I don't think it's a mess. I think it's a little bit of a disorganized.
Right. It's like spaghetti right now. You need to trim.
I think it's
the
spaghetti
edges
right
and-
when you put it in the pot and it kind of starts to melt. Maybe that's what it is right now.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I don't think it's a big mess. I think they cleaned up a big mess. They made it a smaller mess. Let's go with that. How's that sound?
Okay. It's a
That'll
small- Okay, I agree with that one.
We'll go with that one? Okay.
Yeah, that one sounds good. Because the biggest worry with a lot of people is that like the compliance and what's going to happen if I don't comply.
Exactly.
Who's going to enforce this? They don't have any people that'll be able to run around and enforce wherever I'm at flying.
Well, they
Who's
don't anyway.
enforce it?
So that's kind of a falsehood.
Mhm.
It's strictly it's I like to say it's sort of like the seatbelt law. You get pulled over, you have your seatbelt on. They're not going to stop you because, well, some will. You're not going to stop you because you have a seatbelt on. If somebody calls in a complaint, say, hey, there's a guy flying outside my house with a drone or flying over my house with a drone. The cops show up, then they would have to check for remote ID. That's pretty much when it would be used. And how many times does that happen? It happens, but not a lot. So the compliance issue really was at the corporate level, because before today, I had at least, I'm gonna think about this, at least 2, if not more, I think maybe 3 emails from people who fly corporately.
Okay.
And what was going on is those particular corporate people have lawyers in their hierarchy, and they said, hey, we can't fly non-compliant. So boom, we're done. I had one guy who they fly 210s, and you can't make them compliant without a module. And so they were going to shut them down. And he emailed me. I said, send all this stuff to me in an email. And so he sent it to me in an email, and I cleaned it up so there's no identifiable information in it. And I forwarded it to actually to Jeffrey Benson, and he forwarded it to other people. So those kind of comments and those kind of emails from the public, from the Flying 107 public, really helped get things going. Now, would have been nice if we had got this last week or the week before. Yeah. There's a whole lot of stuff that happened in the back end that I don't have permission to share that I hope I can one day, which is why it took so long.
Okay.
It doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it any less distasteful, but
But at least we do know where we are right now.
we know where we are right now. And I would say, and I've told the FAA this and people in the FAA this, that they needed to be a whole lot better about communicating what's going on.
Agreed.
And they weren't, and they know they
Agreed.
weren't.
But
And I had a thank you from a text from somebody at email today, say, thank you for getting the word out and thank you for holding our feet to the fire. So There are people inside the FAA. The FAA is this big
Huge.
agency, basically. It really is. But there's people inside that agency that fight so hard for us. So hard for us. And it's so frustrating for them.
That's good. That's good to know. But here's a quick question.
Sure.
Do you think they will be ready in 24 March?
I'm going to go with yes, but I'm the eternal optimist. So we'll know on March 16th.
Well,
Okay.
well, I mean,
Seem
this
to have
is a good amount of time, you know, with you already knowing about what,
Mhm.
already having a direction of where you want to go. There's been a little talk here and there that about, and you know, and sometimes guys out there start talking and they say things, and I think it gets a little distorted once it starts bouncing around. And they start talking about you know, things like, well, internet not being available and everywhere. And once internet is available everywhere, we're gonna have network remote
Network
ID,
remote ID.
and how, right? And I understand that part of it, but like, do you think, and how, you know, well, we haven't even got this off the ground yet. Like, how far behind something like that would be?
Gosh, I think network ID is coming. Absolutely. But and this is logic speaking, not necessarily anybody from the FAA or anybody from industry. I think that the vast majority of network remote ID requirements are going to be things like delivery, are going to be things like pipeline inspections, are going to be things like railroad track inspections, where you're doing long distance, extended long distance BVLOS operations, where you're going to have some kind of detect and avoid system, as will other aircraft in the area. So I think remote ID, unmanned aircraft, not necessarily manned aircraft, remote ID in situations like that not only is coming, but really a good idea. But you and me and everybody else out there flying 200, 300, 500, 1,200 feet away, with our little DJIs, Nautils, and Parrots, and blah, 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 blah. I don't think we're ever going to have network remote ID. It will be fought tooth and nail, and compliance will be worse than it is right now with regular remote ID, or upcoming in March.
You know,
I think the FAA knows that.
that's interesting because I keep hearing remote ID. I keep hearing UTMs. I keep hearing like here in New York, we have a 50-mile corridor for testing and things like this, and everyone's moving full speed ahead, and remote ID is supposed to be ready, and UTMs are supposed to be ready at 25. And what's happening? Or are they blowing smoke up our asses?
No. UTM is a thing. Whether or not it's ready by 2025, we're talking, you know, FAA, we're talking to NASA.
Yeah.
Those agencies, well, NASA is not quite as slow as the FAA, but the FAA is very slow. They're based on safety. So it's safety. They need to kind of step their game up a little bit, and have. I will give Jeffrey Benson a lot of credit for that. He is a let's get stuff done kind of guy. But UTM is necessary for a lot of the areas that are going to be congested. You know, LA, New York,
Right.
Right.
Dallas are doing a lot of delivery testing in Dallas, Miami, Atlanta. You're going to see a lot of the UTM type stuff that's going to be necessary. I don't ever see a segregated airspace, probably like airspace corridors, you know, you can't fly here unless you have UTM. Or a remote ID or some kind of detect and avoid system.
Okay.
I don't see that happening, but if you're going to go for a BVLOS type operation, then there are going to be some other things you're going to have to play with. But no, I don't. A UTM is coming. When it happens, I doubt 2025, at least at wide scale. They may be testing in 2025, but I'm not privy to any of that info.
Okay. We've done a few stories on what they look like, and what some of the designs are, and what they say that they're going to do. You know, Altitude Angel has done a few projects, you know, all over the world. And
there's a couple here in the United States. They're testing in Virginia, they're testing in Pennsylvania. So there are systems already testing. So I guess I probably didn't make that very clear. There are systems testing. It's just you don't have the wide range scalable testing yet that we need really for a successful UTM system.
Right.
We might have it, but we haven't done it.
Now, in answer to that, Are you familiar with other countries and where they're moving in the world of UTMs and remote ID? Because Asia's in
No.
one state. Asia is in one state.
Mhm.
Eastern Europe is in another phase. I don't know too much personally myself, but I do know that personally the FAA seems to be the only ones that are trying to put everything together with the information. How can I say? I think other places outside the United States are ready to go, and the United States is not.
Well, oh, yeah, absolutely, 100%. I am not the only person that has said that publicly. More than one person has mentioned that in the AAAC meetings. United States has the safest airspace in the world. We have the most organized airspace in the world. I know it doesn't always look like it, but we do. So we are technically kind of the world leader in aviation. But when it comes to drones, when it comes to extended operations and drones, complex operations and drone operations, we are likely not the leader anymore. Because you've got like Australia and you've got Japan and you've got countries like that doing a lot more work. Now, Australia has a whole lot less people and Japan has a whole lot less land. So it's a little easier for them to do it. As far as Eastern Europe, I have no idea. I have enough trouble keeping all the US regulations straight.
Herman and I, we do this live stream. We try to do drone news that we try not to talk DJI every day. We try to talk, eVTOLs, anti-drone countermeasures, things that are happening around the world. And every time we look, and I look to a story, even American-made companies here are getting their certifications to fly in other countries faster than they are here in the States. And that's a problem.
It is a problem. And again, I'm going to mention Jeffrey Benson. That's something he recognizes. It's like, why? He wants to know why we're falling behind. Why is there so much paperwork? Why is there so many regulations? Let's go do it.
Here's a question. If Barkley 107 drones, do you have to re-register all your drones with the FAA with the new remote ID numbers at $5 per squad?
No, not yet.
Thanks, Barkley.
And that's a great question. Greg at Pilot Institute actually just put out a great video about how to do this. So if you have any questions, either go to that or go to our remote ID article, because I linked to it here just before I logged on. The way it works, and I'm assuming he's talking 107 since he's 107.
Yes.
You can change your remote ID number. You do not, when you go to register a drone right now, like I said last night, I just bought a Mavic 3 Pro, and I had to go, and it doesn't ask for the aircraft serial number anymore. It asks for the remote ID serial number. So I think that until March 16th, at least this is what I was told, I haven't got confirmation yet, there is no charge to change the remote ID number. If you have a brand new drone, or if you're getting a new FA number, so the new registration number, then you have to pay the $5. If all you're doing is adding the remote ID prefix to an updated drone, or you're buying a drone with remote ID on it already, and registering that or a module, then there's no charge. You don't have to pay the $5 until March 16th, and then you'll have to start doing that. But we'll see when that happens. Okay. So that's a long way to say no. You don't have to pay it.
And those modules, now when they come out or when they're available, it seems like when they're available, DJI, which is a drone that's quite popular, would have probably updated all of their most of the drones that are in the hands of everyone now.
A lot of them can't be just simply because of the electronics involved.
Right. A lot of the modules are just. Now I'm just wondering where does that go? Because a lot of people would probably some people have probably invested in the module already if they could get their hands on one, and then now their drones will be updated to be able to use it.
Well, DJI put out a list of which ones will be updated via firmware. TEL did something similar.
I actually have that list here.
Oh, awesome, beautiful! I usually have it
here.
Perfect.
It's at the actual FAA.gov list document. It's every drone, not just DJI. It's their latest.
Oh, so the doc, the doc page,
yes.
the declaration of compliance, right?
So,
no, DJI went ahead and put out a news release 6 weeks ago that does list the ones that will be updated by the 31st. Yeah, some
Oh,
the end of this month, some the end of the year.
Yes, they should be up to like the Phantom series, the Phantom 4
Yeah,
Pro.
Phantom 4 Plus
Buddy.
or Phantom 4
Buddy.
Pro V2 is the
Yeah, the V2.
lowest of the Phantom 4s. I'm hoping for the Mavic 2. I mean, I'm sorry, the Mini 2, because I have a Mini 2 with Japanese
Okay.
Well,
batteries.
see,
and I wanna
someone
fly
had
it.
asked that earlier, but I actually have the list here from a site. We have the Mavic 3 Pro, the 3 Sin, the Inspire 3, the 350 RTK, the DJI Mavic Pro Platinum we know was crossed out.
Rescinded,
Air
right?
2S, the Mavic 3, the Mavic 3 Classic, the Mavic 3 Sin, the DJI Avata, the Mini
Yeah,
3.
those are the ones with docks already.
Yes,
right?
the Mini
Yeah,
3
okay.
Pro, the Mavic 3 Enterprise, the Thermal, the Multispectral, the Matrice 30,
Lots of
Um,
the Mini 3s.
DJI M30 dock version,
Mhm.
the Matrice 30 Thermal, the M300 RTK, the Agris T30, T40, and that's just the beginning of them.
Right. Now you've got like a lot of people still flying the DJI Mavic Pro 2 and the Mavic Pro Zoom. Those will be updated as well. So
Mhm.
there are updates coming, and since they didn't happen before Saturday, that's one of the other reasons that the FAA went ahead and pushed back compliance enforcement.
Okay. You know,
And something about Autel, but I don't fly Autel, so I didn't really pay attention to that list. I have one. I have the Lake
Well,
Plus.
that's why I went to the
you got the
FAA
Autel
site.
list,
Autel is in this list. If
Oh
I
yeah,
can
lots of them are.
screenshot- If I could screenshot real quick, what I've done is I've gone to the last pages, the
There
back.
you go. Yep, that's the dock page.
They start at the back page 24. They start with the different model drones here. Micro drones is added. Then we start with the DJI, the Avata, and
Lots
and
of them.
and it goes on and on. But I put the link in the chat on page 23, page 22. Everything DJI related is on this list.
Mhm. Yep.
Well, since they haven't revised this, this is from the FAA, but I expect them to do it shortly. This is
Mhm.
the closest you're gonna get, though.
Yeah, like right now, we all know the Air 3 is remote ID compliant because it's a new drone that's being sold, but it's not on the, or at least it wasn't last time I checked. The FAA is a little behind on publishing the docs.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
the
yeah.
declarations of compliance.
They will definitely. Hey, Ray Kelly, they'll definitely
Hey, Ray.
as soon as they
Ray.
can. Doozy Designs, welcome to the channel. Oh, it's Tissart. Art is Fun. She changed her name. How are you, Art is Fun?
Okay.
If anyone has any questions out there pertaining to remote ID,
Yeah, please do. And we have an article out that we just pushed out this morning. So you can go to dspalliance.org and go to our newsroom, and there's an article there. I don't have the chat, so I can't post a link, but
Okay.
is it
that has a lot of
DSP?
stuff. DSP Alliance,
DSP.org.
alliance.org.
DSP Alliance.
And you go to the newsroom up top.
Hold on. Try and do this on the spot here.
There you
Okay.
go.
You
Now, if
will
anyone has
you
any
go to where?
questions-
The
Newsroom.
newsroom.
Well,
And then the first
Okay.
article is the one I pushed out this morning.
I have it right here.
And
I
that's
will
got all the
share this-
links and everything as well.
I will share this link in the chat
Awesome.
right now.
Perfect. And in that also, I just put, like I said, I put a link into the Pilot Institute video, shows you how to go in and into the drone zone and change your registration to remote ID.
Okay, and
That is
speaking
good
about
for
Pilot
everyone.
Institute, speaking
Mhm.
about Pilot Institute,
Mhm.
I have a video that's a little too long for us to show while you're on here because we value your time. But it is a
It's
Pilot
just Greg
Institute-
anyway.
I know, but
I'll
it
see him
is
this
a Pilot
weekend. I'll see him this
Institute
weekend.
video from Pilot Institute showing
mhm.
camera drone modules and FPV modules. I watched it 2 times. It was very helpful.
Great.
Price wise, range wise. People have a question. How far will my remote ID broadcast? He answers these questions. How much can I afford at this? What can I get for this price? He goes into Bluetooth. He goes into Wi-Fi. He goes into cellular. He explains it all thoroughly, and I'll put that link in the chat also because, like I said, it's a little long.
It's a great video.
But it does
Greg.
answer all your questions about modules, FPV, which
Any
we were
questions
concerned
that you might
about.
have. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, they worked hard on that video. I bet I bug Greg every other week. It's like, you ready? So
He
Yeah.
he did do a lot of work.
Yep.
And it was very extensive, from price to range to frequency. And these are all things that no one has talked about other than price when it comes to remote ID.
Yep.
Bluetooth doesn't transmit as far as Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi doesn't transmit as far as cellular, and so on.
Well, you see, I just think that once everybody knew where we were going, I think that now everybody is more comfortable and making their decisions now. Plus, now we
Right.
know we have to wait for these modules anyway.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And that's one reason it took Greg so long to get the thing out, is because he had trouble getting the modules too. I mean, manufacturers said, "Here,
Explain
we
that.
want to send you a module, but I don't have any to send you." So some they sent him, I think, and some he had to buy. So
He did go into detail to say a few of these were almost impossible to acquire.
acquire, right?
Yeah, now they're becoming they're difficult to get. The companies don't have them produced yet for use. What would be the slowdown on that? I mean,
Supply chain, getting part of it is getting the declaration of compliance for the FAA. Because you're not, you do the R&D into it, and then you do the declaration of compliance, you submit that, it goes through review, and then you get approval, and then you start building it. So a lot of these companies, I'm not going to spend a ton of money on manufacturing until I know for a fact that I can get compliant. So that was part of it, but a lot of it is it's just supply chain still. Chips, I mean, anything with a chip these days is slow getting made.
It's true. Someone had put in the chat, Bluetooth wins, and now I only chuckle because you're going to have people who care about the size of the footprint that they broadcast.
Absolutely.
And Greg even said in the video, for you guys who fly FPV, and don't want a large footprint, this is the module that you want, because
That's
it's
right.
Bluetooth.
That's right.
So, but where you have businesses like Herman and I, we supply drone services. Hey, TJ, we want the largest footprint because we don't want anyone coming into our airspace without being known, and we don't want to go into anyone else's airspace without being known, especially when we're working. But for you guys that are just hobbyists, you may, as long as you have some kind of footprint in your broadcasting, you are compliant. Is this true?
Yep.
And that's what it comes down to.
If you haven't, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry, but that's why I said if the drone is compliant already out from the factory, that's a plus. You don't have to worry about those modules and having to connect this and connect that and everything working in the same way. Because I saw that when I saw a video, like Ken Herron had did a video with a couple of different modules and they were reacting differently. It was like somebody's got to get on the same page with something.
Right.
Well, just like in FPV, you have different VTXs that transmit different powers. So you're going to have the same thing with remote ID. Not everybody can afford a $400 module.
You understand?
understand?
I'm saying to you, as far as they have to be able to broadcast the same information into the same system, don't they? So
there is a set of ASTM standards that have to be done. How they apply those standards as a manufacturer or as an app developer is kind of up to them. It's like they say, this is what we need you to do. Y'all need to figure out how to do it, or how you figure out how to do it is your business, but this is what it has to do. So the end result is dictated, but how you get to that end result is not dictated. That's probably the best way to explain it. So, yeah, you need to go to the grocery store. You can walk 3 blocks to your right and then head up, or you can just go straight to the grocery store. You're still at the grocery store.
Right. Now, here's another part of remote ID, in case people wanted to know. People seem to be concerned, and I get into these arguments. I'm learning to ignore them now, but people are concerned that someone will download the app and use the app to find out where I'm flying my drone and rob me. And I try to tell them that you're at risk of being robbed anyway.
Right.
We talked about this. Yesterday.
You and I disagree. That's okay. It's all good. That is a big fear. It is a fear of mine. Colorado, where I live, is an open carry state. I will not open carry, but I'm just saying it is an open carry state.
Right.
But I carry bear gel with me when I feel the need. But I do that already. I do that already. If I feel like I'm in an area that I'm not real comfortable in, I carry bear gel. It's just like bear spray, except it goes like 25 feet and sticks to your face. So it's much better than bear spray. And I will, it's in my car, except when I'm flying out at DIA, they say, no, you can't have that in your car. As I
Right.
drive through the security gate. But it's like, oops. But I know pilots that are very, very afraid of this. I think it's a legitimate fear that somebody may do that. But is it a fear that should keep you flying? Should it be it should be forefront in your mind when you're flying? No, I don't think
Right.
so. But it should be like, just in case. I fly with a VO, so there's that aspect of it where he can keep an eye on things. If somebody doesn't have a VO with them, then who's coming up behind them? It's a legitimate fear, but I don't think it's as bad as we first thought. First of all, because they got rid of.
Well, that's my point. I didn't want you to think that I disagreed. That's my point. They're over worrying about
Yes,
this.
yes, that's a good way to put it. It's
Yeah,
a legitimate
I thought so,
concern
too.
that needs to be kept in its appropriate
Right.
proportion.
And we discussed yesterday, 9 out of 10 people see you with a drone. They're busy going, ooh and ah, that's
Ooh
a
and
drone, because now you're hearing the word drone on TV. You're seeing it in news shots on your news shots. You're seeing it in Nat Geo channels. You're seeing drones all over in the movies, etc. So the word is becoming more popular. It's like Field of Dreams, build it and they will come. They see the word drone enough, people will relax some. Instead
The
of
problem, like, and the problem with what I see, and I understand where everyone is coming from on that topic. And some of the places where we work, the need for putting a building there today means that there was a problem with the area yesterday.
Yeah.
So there are in those areas an element that may or may not,
Appreciate
and it's
your
always,
presence.
and there's always the room for it. So you have to keep one eye open on that at all times. Yeah, and take precautions for those things, because let's be honest, flying here in New York City, that's one of the things that you have to take into consideration anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
It is one place I have no desire to fly, is in the city.
Well,
I'm sure it's gorgeous. I'm sure I could have a lot of fun, but I'm okay without that.
Well, see, fortunately, like this picture behind me, I got this picture last year with an Air 2S. Fortunately, in New Jersey, this is the Hudson River, the water. Fortunately, you can take a picture from a distance. Now, do people that night, were people flying across to get a closer look? Of course they were, and you saw the drone lights going across, but you see the strobes. Everyone was respectful. They know during that time there's no helicopter traffic, because the helicopters, this was on a Sunday, the helicopters were refueling for work on Monday morning. It's not as bad as you think, Vic. If you came to New York and hung out with us for a while,
that would be fun.
If you came to New York and hung out with us seriously, you would see there were thousands upon thousands of drone pilots. In fact, when the police do the testing of Aeroscope, they just tested it around the Manhattan area because of so many drones.
Yep.
You remember, Herman, we were at a meetup and we had real quick, Vic, we were at a meetup and there was a helicopter. This was before Lance, but you had to call the airport and report back then that you were flying drones. We called, reported we were having a meetup in this area, and the helicopter just hovered there and hovered. And after they saw there were about 20 something drones, 10, 15 in the air, people landing, taking off, and it was controlled, they flew away.
Awesome.
So it's not as bad as they say.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Take a look and see what's happening, and they usually go away.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when we flew
A lot of
Vegas, they
times-
did that. Yeah, they
a lot
came
of
and saw what
times-
we were doing and left.
You show them your credentials and stuff like that. To the police.
We've had police, Vic, come. We've had Karens call the police on us. and the police came and said, look, someone reported there were a bunch of guys flying drones over bridges. And when the police came, we explained, look, there's my drone. Everyone had their drone in visual line of sight. Everyone had their registration on and or their 107 with them. And the police were like, look, we see you guys aren't causing a problem. We were at a foot of a bridge, okay, looking towards Manhattan. And we were all flying. No, the police said, we have to check you guys
Yep.
out.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
as long as you have your registration, your remote ID compliant, then you're doing what you're supposed to. Yes, your trust certificate. These are
Mhm.
things that are put in place for a reason.
Yep. Yep.
Now, I used to be
Absolutely.
scared.
Yeah, I was never scared. But if I like to tell people, if you're not a little hesitant, a little worried when you're getting ready to take off, you probably shouldn't take off, because that means you're a little overconfident and something's going to go wrong. There should
Yeah,
always be that
yeah.
little thought in the back of your head. It's like,
I tell people that when I teach them
Yeah.
to fly, I tell them, keep that fear, because if you're not scared, that means you're too relaxed. And when you get
Yeah.
relaxed, you make mistakes.
You forget things. You do
Mhm.
the wrong thing.
Herman's big for telling you take your time, because we've been places and he takes his time and he's very methodical. He puts things in places and they're in those places, and he don't care how many people are up in the air. He's going to take his damn time.
As you should.
And when you rush, you make mistakes once again.
Oh,
But what are we gonna
especially
do
when
when
you have
we're-
multiple drones flying around and
Mhm.
beat-ups and stuff like that with the community. That's
Yep.
that's when it's the most dangerous.
Yep.
Work-
That's when you have to shout out AGLs and locations and, hey, I'm
Right.
out this way, I'm at 250 feet, blah, 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 blah. And it's great to fly with other people. It's a lot of fun.
Work now.
It's
There's usually no one there,
controlled.
except for your spotter and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
there was an incident that we had. We were flying a site, and while I had the drone up in the air, someone just flew right past with a Phantom,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we didn't know where the pilot was at first. We
We
were
did
wondering,
find him.
Lawrence used his own remote ID and found him.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was-
Yeah. Believe it
he
or
was
not,
in a
this
car.
app, even though remote ID is not active, this app
Oh, it's
showed-
active.
It,
It's just
it
not in
showed the,
compliance.
this
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah,
This
Yep.
it showed the drone in the air.
Yep.
It's actually called Drone Scanner.
There's Drone Scanner, there's Air Sentinel. There's a couple
Air
of
Sentinel
ones.
did not work, but Drone Scanner showed
Interesting.
Herman's drone in the air and the other drone. It
Awesome.
did show the drone, and all I went up the block. I ran up the block to see if I could spot him while Herman finished flying the mission, and as I should, to let him know that there's other drones in the airspace. And after I came back, I said, "Well, he's been up there. I own a Phantom. His battery's about to go out soon." And we watched. He did all his maneuvers. And Herman observed and got his shots without him. And just like I said, he went back to the corner. I ran past him. I went 2 blocks away
Oops.
to see if I could find him, and he was right there 1 block away sitting in a car.
Oh, okay. Well, that's illegal.
Yeah, I know. And I let him know that we are flying this job site. We are hired. He tried to tell us he was hired by the company. So I said, "Okay, if you were, who's the soup here?" He says, "I don't have to say that." I said, "Well, you do know you're flying on a site, and we have authorization to fly here." Now, Herman jokes with me, but my aloft authorization, I take a screenshot.
Oh, yeah.
So I can put it in people's faces and say, "We have authorization to fly here." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Where's your authorization?" Once again, he said, "I don't have to show you nothing." I said, "Well, check this out. We're flying this site. We're hired by the company to fly the site." He showed me a logo of the company in a text that he could have downloaded off the internet or anything.
Huh.
But I pretty much made it clear, and this is off the books, don't come back around here no more. But come to find out, he was probably scouting to see if he could get work for the site.
Yeah, I
But
know people.
once
do
you
that.
let them know that you're in the area, they tend not to come back. I was nice about it. I didn't kick over his Phantom or anything. Even though I
Good.
run through the weird stuff you think.
Uh-huh.
To increase his portfolio.
There you go.
Yes, yes.
Which is,
yes.
there's nothing wrong with that, but you need
True.
to fly friendly. You know, if
Yes.
you're out, and first of all, don't sit in your damn car and fly.
Yeah.
If you want to go and get a cool shot, I mean, we're photographers, we like cool shots.
Mhm.
That doesn't necessarily mean we're getting paid for it. But if we're going to do something like that, you're just starting out and you want to go ahead and build your portfolio, good, go for it. Go for it. There's always room
But
for
you
good
have to
photographers
share
in
the
this
air.
business. Share the air. If you see
Yep.
another drone, don't. Kenji and I were flying Wednesday night, the Sphere in Vegas last week during ComUAV, and we were out there flying, and some guy came just flying through there. We had no idea who he was. He was out near my drone, so I had to keep track of that. He was flying rather erratically, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Somebody did have the remote ID app and pulled it up, but I don't know if they found him or not. And he left after a while. Weird.
So you didn't know where he was located.
We didn't really look. I was just kind of watching out. There were 20 people there with us, so we weren't really paying too close. I wasn't paying too close attention to him because I was watching my drone.
Well, you want to know I'm how I think people are going to handle remote ID? The same way they handled Lance. Before, when Lance started, you can't tell me how high to fly. You can't tell me where I can fly. And millions of people have used Lance, and we're using it successfully, and it's working.
Yep.
And it's sort of like, I just flew my first construction crane at a construction site,
Oh, cool.
FPV.
Those are
Okay. And I was so nervous up until this flight, but we were supposed to do it on one day, and then it got canceled. We were supposed to do it another day. It got canceled. To make a long story short, by the time it came for me to fly, I wasn't nervous anymore.
Awesome.
And this is how people are going to be with remote ID. By the time it kicks in, I don't think there'll be a whole lot to worry. Either you'll
Well, you know what? You're right. I think you're right about that, because I think that now with the delay and what we now know about, I think that everybody is like, okay, well, let's get it on now.
Yeah.
You know,
This is one of those things too, that's just eventually almost everybody, except for maybe the home built folks and those who really fly the very old legacy drones, are going to be compliant, because what's the lifespan of a drone? 2 years, maybe? And everybody's going to be updating their drones. It depends on how bad you fly. But I know people, it's like 3 weeks. But as you replace your drones, you're going to become remote ID compliant. So I don't think it's going to be that big a deal.
okay.
Exactly.
Whenever DJI puts something out, yeah.
Yeah, everybody now who has one, or who builds and sells drones for the U.S. market that aren't under 250, have remote ID. It's required.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that with the teal. A few of those.
Yeah, the teal got their DOC published. Whole bunch of them. There's 36 pages, 8 pages per 8 drones per page.
What do you think about that? And what do you think about that? And how will remote ID apply when it comes to mesh flying?
And
I'm only asking because I do know all drones would be compliant, but doesn't it go to another level with mesh flying?
It will.
Drones at one time.
And FPV races or events. I'm not sure, you define mesh, because that could be taken a couple different ways.
No, when I define mesh, like teal drones, you can fly 4 drones, that type of mesh flying.
You're going to need your waiver to fly more than one. So you're going to have that. And I would assume, and this is just Vic assuming things, and you know what that word means, that there will be some kind of remote ID, either what you're supposed to do or relief from in that waiver. Because in a situation like that, you're going to have to be waivered because you can only fly one drone at a time, similar to drone light shows.
Right.
So that would be my guess if logic prevails. Whether or not logic prevails, we'll find out. But
True.
Like FPV events, I've been pushing, and I think we're going to really try and hit this hard next year in Congress. Is we need relief. The FPV crowd needs relief. Right. At an FPV event, I like to use the term remote ID on a stick. Basically, you have one transponder that's sitting where the pilots are flying from, and that is one remote ID that broadcasts out
Right.
And now the FPV folks don't need it. It sucks that they're required to fly it right now. And I would love to see some kind of permanent deferred enforcement, which will never happen, or something along those lines for the FPV guys. So why is FPV there? So we can find the pilot, we can find the drone, right?
Yeah.
And if you're flying an FPV event, all you gotta do is look and go, oh, well, there's 30 drones and there's 30 pilots, done.
Right.
So it's silly to require that, but right now, the way the law is written, it is required. So hopefully there will be some logic come up next session.
Well, speaking about FPV, and there's been a lot of talk and hopes and wishes, but do you think that something like shielded operations would ever be here in the States?
I was just.
It's already coming. It's already terminology. My FPV without a VO waiver, which was kind of a useless waiver, but it was a first step, kind of had that in it. I had to fly within 1,000 feet of where I am and within, oh gosh, it's been so long since I've used it now. I think I had to stay within 100 feet of obstacles. So that is a shielded ops type operation.
Okay.
The official use of the language of shielded ops is going to work its way in. There is already being used in some talks back and forth, and it's talked about at the FAA. I think it's been brought up actually in the AAAC, where it's like, we're using the term shielded ops already, if not necessarily officially. It is a term that will work its way into the vernacular, possibly.
Now, will shielded ops be a generic? And when I say generic, I mean for anyone that's flying FPV or flying within a building.
Within a building, that's not even FAA territory.
But
or you mean near a building?
All right. Say under a tree canopy.
I think that's a perfect use for something like the term shielded ops. It has not been defined yet. The FAA is notorious for not giving something a really hard, true, fast definition for two reasons. One, they assume we're adults, which we can argue back and forth about that. But they'll say, okay, you can make this decision on your own. Just make the right one. I mean, also then if you have, okay, here's the line in this particular rule or in this particular definition, you can find a way to jump over the line.
Okay.
Where for every hard rule, there's always a way out. So,
looking at the chat, Lawrence, was it this gentleman here, Mr. Brett?
Okay, here, Jerry Bauer.
About
foreigners?
He's asking about, Yes, about coming to the country and their requirement for remote ID.
Right, Vic. What about foreigners coming to the U.S. and their requirements regarding remote ID?
Well, if you register your drone, it needs remote ID. There is a specific way that a foreigner can register a drone in the United States. I'm not that familiar with it because I just don't deal with it. I look it up. I probably looked it up twice in the last 3 or 4 years. But if you go to faa.gov/UAS, there is a section down there. You can may have to go through a few clicks, but you can find how you register your drone as a foreigner in the United States, and you will need remote ID. You will not have remote ID relief because you have to register your drone.
That's interesting because I know I have a few friends that just got back from one went to Ireland and one went to Iceland, and to fly in those countries, even though remote ID isn't registered, you have to register with their local FAA and things like that to let them know you're a drone pilot. One person was Part 107 and one was a recreationalist, and they had no issues finding the paperwork to fly in these countries. And I assume it would be close to the same here in the States.
It should be. There's no reciprocity between foreign and the United States regulatory or licensing. I know it's not license, it's certification, but that's going to have to come from ICAO. But it's not that hard. So yeah, faa.gov/UAS, and there's somewhere in there is what a foreigner needs to do to fly in the United States.
Okay,
that's interesting because first they're all fearmongered and told you cannot fly in New York City, which is true. To an extent. It is true to an extent, but people come here and there used to be a DJI store in the tourist district.
I've been to it. A friend of mine worked there.
No longer there after COVID and everything. But once a tourist came here and found out people were flying drones, and they got contact New York drone Facebook pages and stuff. They go immediately to the DJI store to buy a drone. And what do? They take it up and crash it into a 55-story window in a skyscraper
Oops.
somewhere.
Oops.
Yeah. So I would think it would be common sense to find out, if you're a drone pilot, what you need to do to fly in that country, because that's what I would do.
Yeah, that is what you would do, but you use the word common sense. And it's
Uh-oh.
not common at all.
True.
Unfortunately.
This is true.
Have drone will fly.
Exactly. Well, I've got about another 5 minutes and I got to rock and roll. So are there any other questions you want? I mean, I feel like I just got on, and so it's been almost an hour.
Yeah.
But is there anything, any of the chat that I can answer for
Well,
you? Guys have any
Joyce,
specific
I'm looking-
questions?
I'm looking at Waypoint England. He says, if we have remote ID already, then March 16 means nothing to us. Correct.
Correct.
Pretty
You're
much.
compliant, you're flying, no big
Um,
deal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Are there any questions in here before Vic gets out of here? Legitimate questions, because
Well,
if
I'll
you-
answer illegitimate
You got
ones.
to
I do all day
specify
long.
it, right? Ones that Vic will answer.
Oh,
You
you'd
have
be
to
surprised when
specify
I'd
that
answer,
stuff.
but you may not like the answer.
I mean, if there's
That's
anything that they
understandable.
need to take away from anything that is,
Don't
From
stress.
remote
Remote
ID.
ID is not going to be that big a deal. I think we can all
Yeah.
agree on that.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
overthink it. Don't worry that much about it. Become compliant when you can.
right.
Hold on. Someone says
Sure.
Legend
Thomas
big.
Paine was wrong, Vic.
What?
I don't know what that means. Someone says Thomas Paine was wrong, Vic.
Oh, now you're talking history. Come on, don't do that to me. I'm
Barkley's
60
a
years
wise
old.
guy.
You know how long it's been since I've cracked a textbook from history?
Barkley's a wise guy. He's funny.
We all
Oh,
need those in our
man.
lives.
Now, was it Legend Big is that a question that he has here?
No, it's more of a
Hey,
state-
hey, what's up, brother?
it's more of a statement. I also
Okay.
think there's not enough education when people buy drones. Agreed. All
1%.
drone sales should come with more useful rules and regulation information, like buying a car or a gun. I agree.
you-
10,000
I agree to a
times.
point. I think I do not want you to have to provide a registration ID, drone information, all knowing person
The purchase.
type of ID to purchase one.
Here's-
But there should be, and there is supposed to be, manufacturers are supposed to supply some way for people to find out the information. Trouble is,
We
you
have
can
to-
become a drone operator
Mhm.
with a credit card and an Amazon account.
That's true.
you
We
know what?
have two
You know-
two questions. One is serious
sure.
and one is not.
Oh, let's do the
There's-
serious one first, and let's end on a high
The
note.
first one is I fly from my car on cold days. I still have
Uh-huh.
line of sight. Is there a rule against it?
Yes, there is. 10739. So wait a minute. No, that's ops over people. Whatever BB loss is, I'm sorry, I'm so tired. Is you have to be able, the reason you need to maintain is because not only do you have to see what's going on where your drone is, but you need to be able to keep an eye of what's going on around you. If you're in your car, you cannot. Now, that doesn't mean lots of people don't. I have flown from my car. We had to do a 3-mile flight and my VO drove and I flew from the passenger seat. So will the FAA come out and bust you? Well, you know, if you put it on YouTube and you zoom by and you look by your window, and yeah, they may come up talk to you if somebody turns you in.
Right.
But unless something happens, it's unlikely anything will come. It's just not safe. It's
Right.
not safe.
And the second one, real quick, this is Recovery One, Draymond.
Draven, brother, how you doing, man?
Can Vic explain the time warp continuum of FAA process for swarm flight operations?
It will happen when it happens, unless it happens sooner. That's that, right?
Situational awareness.
Situational awareness
that's-
is huge when you're flying. Absolutely.
I think that's it, Vic. I think.
All right. Well, I
A lot
really
of-
appreciate you guys inviting me on, and I wish I could stay a little bit longer.
I really appreciate you coming
Yeah,
out
we
I have a-
appreciate
hanging out
you.
with us.
No problem. I have to jump on another podcast, and I got Bible study in an hour, so I got to get going and eat dinner stuff. So,
Vic, we appreciate
Appreciate
you,
it.
man.
and
Appreciate
if I'm coming to New York, I want to fly with you guys. I'll be in Boston next month, but I'm not going to
Okay.
be. I'm not going to be in New York.
At any time you come through, if you got a
Just-
day, a couple of hours,
That would be awesome.
We would love to show you
just
some
give us
hot
a-
spots here.
Have Mini 3 Pro will travel.
Well,
There
just
we
give
go.
us a-
There you go. And we will be releasing my Ops Over People waiver in the middle of next month.
Okay.
So if you want,
Nice.
invite me back and we can talk about that.
That would be
No
cool.
problem.
Yeah.
Herman's on it. Herman's on it.
I got you.
Definitely.
Yeah, awesome. And I think I see in the background that you have a Mini 3 Pro right there. Do you have a Mini 3 Pro? That top box on the right? Oh, there's the actual drone itself. Awesome. Get some prop
Yes,
guards
sir.
and you fill it out and you can fly over people, which is really going to be handy in New York City.
Vic, when you
Yes.
release that paper, please stay in touch with us so you can come back on
Okay.
and discuss this.
Okay. We're going to do Pilot Institute in a week or so because the Pilot Institute is a big sponsor, obviously,
Right.
of DSPA. And after that, we're going to let their people kind of get in line at the waiver office. And then we're going to just open it up. So the target date is October 15th on that. And so
Nice.
let's see what happens.
All right.
Vic,
Absolutely.
we appreciate you, man.
Sure
Thank you so
thing.
much.
Absolutely.
Thank
And
you.
everybody
Thank
fly
you so
safe.
much.
I got to say that. Can't leave
Okay.
without saying everybody fly safe. All right. God bless you guys. Have a good one.
Good night.
All right, later,
Bye-bye.
man.
Thank you. Well, that was
That
wonderful.
was a very, very informative live stream.
Right.
And
Yeah,
we
I
need to
really
repost
loved
that.
I really liked having Vic on. I really needed him to come on and talk about things changed here and there because we had talked about this for a long time before this date came up and then the delays came and then now the answers came out this morning. But it was good to still have him on to talk about it.
Later, Barkley. Later.
I really appreciated having him come on.
I did too.
And I hope that he was able to answer some questions for people and clear up a few things and set the record straight.
Yeah. And we will definitely have Vic on again. He's very knowledgeable. It's good to have him on. Ryan Latourette, whoever can come on and be an advocate for the drone community, we're more than behind them coming and talking with you guys, letting us know what you know. Bob Casey's right.
Is a
Fly
very
safe, fly
knowledgeable
smart,
gentleman.
fly legal, and fly often.
Yeah, all of those things. He is very
Yeah.
knowledgeable gentleman in the UAS regulatory matters. And you heard in the beginning a lot of the hats that he wears.
Yes,
So,
yes, definitely.
That's
Definitely.
why-
I'm probably going to watch the live stream over in the morning while I'm getting ready to come over by you. The record is warped. I don't know what that
Oh yeah,
means there, but
the record is warped.
yeah, Warren put in Akarasha put in the chat. The record is warped.
That guy. Sometimes I wonder.
He's got a great. It's for those of you who have missed the live stream and before Vic came on, he came on in the second half of the live stream. So if you don't want to watch the drone news and stuff, at least come back and watch the part with Vic.
Okay. Well, I also wanted to mention again, you guys, keep Jody in your prayers. He had a little car accident.
Yes, drone shots.
Drone shots. Yeah, he hurt his hip and his back, and he had a concussion. He's out of commission for a little bit.
Yeah. So well wishes for Jody. Drone shots. Hey, Herman.
Yes.
And since we're still doing a remote ID thing, can I show part of this video until it's time for us to get out of here?
Which
The
one?
remote ID video. This is remote ID video on modules and FPV. I won't be able to show the entire video due to the fact that it's just too long, but
Mhm.
it is a decent video and I think it'll keep you guys interested. He does a review on 8 or 9 camera drone videos and he does a review on 4 or 5 FPV videos. Like I said, we can't show it all, but check this out.
First up in this category is the DB120 from Bluemark, which, believe it or not, is the cheapest in the category at $140. That's right. It weighs about 24 grams, uses Bluetooth and WLAN, and it runs for 3 hours. It looks like, well, this thing right here, which is kind of bulky if you ask me. It uses a USB-C charger in the back and is turned on or off using a red switch on the side. Next to the switch is the charging status, and when you turn it on, the DB120 shows the battery percentage on one side using 4 different lights, and on the other side you can see the status light next to the configuration switch. Now for usage here in the US, there's no configuration required. You'll be able to see the serial number from the DB120 label that is at the bottom of the module. Now let's address the question that many of you are going to be asking of all these modules is how far away can you detect this thing? And utilizing our BVLOS waiver, we actually went to test 5 different apps on Android, on Apple, and we even used a UAS Sentry receiver to see if it made a difference. Now this module's longest range that we were able to capture was 2,935 feet, so short of 3,000 feet with the air.
And I'm going to stop it right there because, like I said, the video is really long, but you need to watch this video. These are the majority of options that are out there. I'm going to share the link. This one at 2,935 feet is the longest range of all of these modules that he reviews and talks about. So don't think that you just have to pay $300. There's even one for close to $100. Thank you, East Coast
I think that
Drones.
one he said was $140. That was the cheapest.
That one, right? There's one even cheaper than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so $140. Say an average of about $110, $120, and up to about $400 are these modules. My point is, watch this video. If you have any questions, and he does review on FPV videos as FPV modules as well.
Okay. Well, guys, feel free to hit that like button.
And it's time. It's that time.
It's about that time. Well, guys, if you're interested in a hard case for your drone or any other hard case need, there's a coupon code. You guys can use it.
Yep, I'm pulling up the coupon code right now.
For your purchases
As we
at
speak.
Nook, gets you 10% off. That's Phantom Flight 10. Please use that coupon code if you
Here it is right here.
purchasing anything off the Nanook.
Before we're going to end the show with this
Site.
coupon code showing. There you go. Phantom Flight 10 for anything off the Nanook website. Phantom Flight 10. This is
10%
not a
off.
paid endorsement. Just want to let you guys know. And with that, Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys.
Well, what I wanted to say before we get out of here is that I appreciate you all for coming and hanging out with us and talking with Vic about remote ID. And with that, Lawrence, anything you have anything else you want to say?
Be safe, fly safer, and we'll see you around.
And I'll see you next time.
With Those Guys. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.